as a reminder, these categories are budgeted with the assumption that we are fully staffed for the entirety of the year. And as we know, we still have some open positions for operators and maintenance. Personnel expenses compared to budget, again, all of these categories are budgeted fully staffed. And pension is trending over budget due to changes in our actuarial assumptions and our increases to our 401k match. Personnel expenses compared to prior year, we are 8% over, and those are contributed to the wage increases for the union, the 401k employer match, higher health insurance costs. We have 1,100 more claims and 2,100 more services requested in this current fiscal year. But we are seeing a favorable expense trends with our workers' comp, where we are both under prior year and our budget expectations. In regards to non-personnel expenses, we are 8% under budget and 8% over prior year. We expect our expenses to go up every year. So this is what we expected. Risk management is under prior year due to timing of policy renewals, and fuel is also due to the lock of the CNG fuel. Any questions in regards to our operating expenses? And then just to see them on another way, overall, we're 10% under budget, 8% over prior year, and 15% over fiscal year 23. So you can see that our expenses are going up. Our non-operating revenues are on budget, 9% over prior year and 11% over fiscal year 23. So we are heavily dependent on our operating revenues to cover, or our non-operating revenues to cover our operational expenses. The year-over-year variance is mainly attributed to our increase in the STOA. Mortgage recording tax is performing 11% over budget and 6% over prior year. And hopefully with the continued interest rate cuts, we'll continue to see this favorable trend. Investment revenue is performing 100% better than or over budget and 27% over prior year. Any questions in regards to our non-operating revenues? So a little more detail on our mortgage recording tax. Again, 6% under prior year, 11% over budget, and our receipts for the November, were better than prior year in November. So we are seeing that positive trend. The investment report, our uninvested operating cash is $17 million. It increased because we did receive our quarterly STOA payment. Uninvested board designated cash is $4.3 million, with a total uninvested cash being $21 million. In regards to our invested board designated fund reserves, we have $14.4 million, and the yields are now trending at or below 4.5%. Any questions in regards to the investment reports?
What's the only thing I'll mention, and I think you're on top of it, is the can you lock up the reserves in an investment or part of the reserves?
So these on this page right here are all reserves invested in treasuries.
I'm sorry. Check that. Board designated reserves. Your health insurance, capital, and paratransit.
Yes. So
Is
most
there
of
any
them. Right now we have been keeping some of our reserves in cash, and that's really to help with cash flow with the buses. And you'll see that on the cash flow statement here.
Okay, that answers the question.
Where.
Because I know you've been working hard to maximize our interest.
Yes. So the timing on the bus deliveries and paying, and then the receipt back, mostly from the state,
Gotcha.
Has been a little tricky. They're at best at
It's a
60
timing.
to 90 days.
Yeah.
reimbursement, from the state and sometimes longer. So, I'm hopeful after the first of the year and all the buses are here and we receive the reimbursement from the state portion of the bus purchase, we'll be able to be more active with, investing for longer durations. This is our November cash flow. We received 16.8 million operating funds, 13 million of that being our quarterly sale payment, so that's, to help operations over the next 3 months. We utilized 6.6 million, in cash to fund operations this month. The authority in regards to the capital, we received 7.5 million in capital reimbursements, largely with the bus, purchase. And we also expended 7.9 million in capital purchases. Reserve funds are 18.7 million. And just to kind of remind everyone, our total capital purchase for the buses alone are 53 million. 32 million of that will be reimbursed by the federal government, 17 by the state government, and that's that 17 million that we're really being strategic with. And then the local share, our share that won't be reimbursed is 4 million.
And this doesn't include court.
This does not include Portland. I should dial that back a little bit. We are seeing minor expenses currently with Portland, legal bills and stuff, but no large court purchases. Any additional questions? That concludes my report in regards to the revenues and expenditures.
Okay. Any other questions from Melissa on that? Have a motion, please? Tina, second. Luella, any questions? All in favor? Aye. Okay, Jackie, Jack, you can update us on the stop loss removal.
Yes. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and board members. So every year we go out for a stop loss renewal for our insurance. Stop loss, as indicated, is our additional insurance that we carry for our self-insured health plan. So anybody that hits $250,000, if they are over that amount, stop loss insurance then kicks in and reimburses us that dollar amount.
Jackie, just once again explain stop loss, how it works with a calendar year.
Yep, so it's on a 12-month period calendar, so it's from January to December, and the employer has 18 months in order to request the reimbursement back. So we have into the next calendar year. We did have one individual meet the stop loss this year so far. So we are seeing some monies coming back on that, on behalf of that individual. In regards to going out to the market, we went to 5 insurance carriers to request quotes. One provided that they did not want a quote on our behalf. The second one did not provide enough information back to us. And the 3 that we did receive quotes from, Sun Life, Symetra, and HM, we found that the most advantageous was Sun Life in regards to a 23.5% increase. So even though HM responded with a decrease of 5% to our current cost, the problem is HM also lasered an individual out at $435,000. So with that additional cost calculated into the price, we would be looking at a 30% or 32% increase in cost. Therefore, we feel that Sun Life is probably our most advantageous. They are the current carrier that we are currently with. And I would recommend remaining with that carrier for 2025. Are there any questions? Does the board have any questions?
What happens with the laser?
The laser, so what happens is that individual, we pay up to $435,000, and then if it goes over that amount, we will be reimbursed. Anything over that dollar amount.
But it's higher than the $250,000.
Right.
Correct. And the person obviously that's lasered is the one that hit stop loss this year. So, which is typical. So Sun Life does not have any lasered, cases.
Any other questions for Jackie? Okay, then we need a motion to award contract to Sun Life. Neil, second. Julius, any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Thank
Jackie.
you.
Thanks, Jackie.
Everyone have a nice holiday.
Good work with that.
Now you want to be nice.
Huh?
Now you want to be nice.
I'm always nice to you. It's great to see you, Tony.
I need a senator.
Just keep making them talk.
Okay, resolution number 3A. Chris is gonna talk about paratransit purchase. Hi, Chris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. This resolution is for the purchase of 9 paratransit vehicles. The contract will be paid for using grant funds with an 80-10-10 split between federal, state, and local share. Pricing was received from Coach and Equipment Bus Sales, who is the current New York State contract holder for these paratransit vehicles. We received a quote of $129,622 per vehicle. The current paratransit vehicles have reached the end of their four-year useful life as defined by the FTA and in need of replacements. Therefore, it is our recommendation that the board authorize a purchase order to Coach and Equipment Bus Sales in the amount of $1,166,598 for a total of 9 buses.
Questions for Chris?
When are we getting them? When would we get them?
So the New York State contract states 6 to 8 months after receipt of order. Once we place the order, we'll get an updated lead time on those, but right now we're looking at about 6 to 8 months is defined in the contract.
For one or for all of them?
That says per bus, so it's, again, once we place the order, we get an updated lead time, but we have a general idea of 6 to 8 months, which is noted on the contract.
How many do we have now? I'm just curious.
In total, for all of our paratransit, that's a great question.
42.
How many?
42.
4 years, that's it?
So it's for a year.
4 years useful life is what the FTA defines that as.
After 4 years, it gets really, really bumpy
Rattling.
and really uncomfortable for us to ride.
It's not a mileage?
No, this would just be a straight.
125 is the miles, and we usually go up to 5-6 years. It depends.
Okay.
But the FTA rule is 4 years.
Do we bid these out, send them to auction?
After,
Yes.
It's a cutaway, it's worth more than a bus, right?
It is actually.
we get more money on cutaways for the public surplus auction than we do on the 40-foot vehicles.
So those buses across the street are the one that walks in.
Yes.
Chris, are they, you probably don't know this, standard tie downs or those cute little platforms we got?
We're gonna get the platforms in these. Well, it's just one platform.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
one platform. Those are the most incredibly safe feeling tie downs I have ever ridden in.
That's good to hear.
Because sometimes the female drivers can't crank as hard. And let me tell you, I tried to make this chair move. Drivers have said, "Can you make your chair move in this?" I have jumped up and down, dude, the chair doesn't go anywhere. So those are absolutely worth their investment.
For these, just for Syracuse, or they for all?
They get shifted around to all locations.
I spoke to some of the drivers, because when I'm riding the bus, I like to talk to the drivers. Some of them like the large steering wheel, some don't. Some like the smaller one, you know. Some say, because it's, the newer one got a bit of smaller steering wheel. So what are the survey on which one you like the best?
I think there are some people that are mixed, but certainly the newer buses, you're referring to the fixed drop buses coming in, 22 and newer, have an electronic assist steering wheel, so it is a smaller wheel. So the big cranking wheel that you see in the track, that's going away to help save on shoulder issues, wrist issues for trying to turn such a large wheel. And change is always difficult. So, as people get accustomed to it, it is different. And you may drive a small wheel bus today and a large wheel bus tomorrow.
Yeah.
But hopefully as the transition, I think ultimately it's positive. I can ask the union folks if they agree, but.
Frank, any comment?
How about, are you gonna drive her over there?
Jimmy,
I agree.
Jimmy, what do you think?
Yeah, the electric assist is a lot better than the large steering wheel, especially because, like you said, shoulders, and after a while, working on SU and you're cranking the wheel all day like that, it starts to burn out your shoulders. So,
Yeah, this has, nothing to do with what you're talking about, but it does have something to do with it. Also, the drivers, you know, they sit for hours, 3 to 4 hours even. And I talked to them, some of them seem to like to have maybe a free time that they can go do recreation. Gyms, that could be, I don't know how to manage it.
During the run?
After they get to the run, they go to the gym free and won't have to pay.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
We've talked about that in the past. Something we can talk about further.
That's good. Well noted. Jimmy thanks for those comments. Frank thanks for those comments. Good. Okay, if there's no other questions for Chris, Tina, may I have a motion?
Oh, yes. Get me some comfy buses.
May I have a second, Julius? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Thanks, Chris. Good job.
And happy holidays, everyone.
Caitlin's gonna talk to us about the Buyer Remix software purchase, and that's resolution 3B. Good morning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. So this is the resolution for the purchase of Via Remix software. This will be paid for with federal funds, an 80-10-10 split between federal, state, and local funds. So this is for a 3-year software licensing purchase through our existing vendor Via Transportation. They currently offer us transit planning, transit scheduling software. This purchase is a transit planning software, which is proprietary to Via Transportation. So it is classified as a sole source purchase. We are looking at $268,400 for this purchase. So we're looking for award to Via Transportation for Remix software.
And this is our call bus planning software.
Right now, yes, we use it for microtransit planning, yes.
How is this different than what we have?
Bren, you wanna jump in there and give the specifics?
Steve or Brent.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it is a software that has a lot of power behind it that we currently don't have. It allows you to just manipulate maps and throw down potential routes. It will spit out information that you currently don't have access to. When you do assessment of whether or not a bus route will be viable, you take in a lot of information like the demographics, all the makeup of that community. This software takes all of the sources of that information, instantaneously uploads it into this platform, so you can sit there and play with it, and it will give you the most up-to-date information on census information, all kinds of demographics, employment centers, all the type of information. That is a hugely powerful tool for a planning department to take a look at a community and say, all right, this is a viable location for a bus route or on-demand services, and make those decisions rather than having to do weeks and months of research, and it may or may not be accurate.
So this wasn't included in the initial purchase?
We had a trial of 3-month trial within this. Now, this is a separate software from the actual Via.
That's what I mean.
Information,
So
yes.
Via didn't offer this the first time.
It was
Well,
a
we
trial,
did-
a 3-month trial.
It wasn't what we were asking for in the original, but this was a separate add-on that we could purchase through them. So for consistency purposes, we're moving forward with it.
There you go, so this.
This is a software that all the other transit agencies upstate use.
It's
all
a
the
great
buses
idea, I know,
come
I'm not against it, I'm for it, I'm just.
And this is gonna be hugely important when we take on Cortland, to be able to like start from scratch and say, okay, how should this service look? And if we end up expanding to other locations, again, the usefulness of this.
Well, I can see Cortland, Oswego, some of your places that are a little more.
Wherever.
Yeah.
Also placing that you working on make sure it's not tampering. You know, like.
For cybersecurity?
The cyber, yeah.
Yeah. I
So you
mean,
got
Bruce can.
Chris's ears.
Yeah. His head, you see his head pop up.
Cloud-based.
He's got it,
Yeah, I know.
He got this 3 months ago.
So all these things are tied together somehow, so.
I think you're comfortable with the Via platform, and we're already using a trial of Remix, so I think it checks the box for their cybersecurity measures and safety.
Yeah, security, that's what I'm trying to.
Any other questions? I have a motion. Tony, second. Luella, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Tara, come right over here, put your phone. Let's talk about that, we're gonna accept some money.
Yes, we are. Good morning, everyone.
So moved.
Some public administrator, public education. Sure.
So this contract I have before you guys today is to accept operating assistance money as a transfer to the Oneida County Rural Transit. It's $108,607. This is the remaining of the CARES Act funding that they have on their side. This is an attachment to an existing agreement we have, so I will need your signature following the board meeting. In blue, you got it. Any questions?
All right, we got a motion from, Monty, second from Luella. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye, thanks, Sarah, for getting that. Okay, Melissa, anything else you want to discuss?
No, that's it.
Okay, we'll take a few minutes, we'll get into our meeting, thank you. welcome to our December meeting. I can't believe December is here.
It is.
I feel like I'm getting older every year when we hit a December meeting here. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and Joe Hardick's going to lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance today.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a quorum present. At this point, we have another retirement that we're going to recognize today. That retirement is our good friend at the board, Joe Hardick. We're going to say farewell to one of our board members, Joe, following his 8-year term of service with the Central New York Regional Transportation Authority. Joe was appointed to Central's board back in June 19th of 16 to represent the interests of Onondaga County community. During his time on the board, Joe served as a member of the Audit and Finance nominating committees. In addition, he served as chairman of the Legal, Personnel, and Pension committees. Joe has contributed too much to the authority, and we are grateful to have had his insight, skills, experience during his time with us, and commitment. Anytime you serve on a board like this, is commitment. And commitment meaning passion, okay, because you're willing to serve. Okay? It's your time, it's your passion, it's commitment. And that's what's special about any time and any type of boards that people serve on, not-for-profits or anything like this. We hope that this new chapter is filled with joy, relaxation, and all the things you love. Joe's retiring in his profession. He's going to be relocating down to Virginia. I think there'll be a little bit more sunlight this time of the year. But Joe has always been there. He's always been there, never had to worry about is Joe going to be there. He's been very committed. He believes in public transportation. He believes in serving the riders that we serve. And that's why you do these things. At this point, I'd like us to give a round of applause to a great guy. Okay, Chris. Okay, Joe, it's an honor, and thank you for everything, and really appreciate it. And that's something so you can look at everyday time, because you'll be relaxing, so you have a lot of time on your side. Thank you. We're gonna
have a couple here. All right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3.
I'm gonna bring this board. I'm gonna bring this over on that side now, Joe, so the whole board and no, you stay, Melissa, and all the gang could get in this picture. Okay. Okay, you guys are gonna look that way.
Alrighty. Eyes on me. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3.
Joe, any few comments before you end here today?
Sure, just a couple of quick thoughts. Like many of you, I serve on other boards. I've served on many boards over the years and stuff like that. And a lot of them, you'd look around the boardroom and it's a lot of businessmen talking about business. And we take our deep business voices when we do that.
Yeah.
This board isn't a lot of businessmen. There's a couple of us on here, but mostly it's people. And we don't talk about business and doing business things and making money. We talk about people and how we can help people. And that's a lot different than most of the boards I serve on. And it's very refreshing and it's very fulfilling. And I thank all of you for doing this, because, you know, it's obviously not easy to carve out some time on Fridays especially, where you probably should be wanting to take off for the weekend or whatever it is. And the attendance here is always excellent, and you're always here to talk about the people and help the people. So, thank you.
Thanks.
Joe, just don't get that last piece, you tell me to do nothing, don't put that on.
Oh, no. You do nothing, you end up being nothing.
You'll be well missed, sir. Our next meeting date will be January 24th with pension committee at 9. Audit and finance, our board meeting will be at 10. Have a motion to approve the regular minutes of the November 22nd meeting. Leo, Tina, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, Mr. Tuff, have your report, please.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, members of the board. Continuing to draw down the COVID funds, Melissa, talking about the budget, we see where those are being useful with another $1 million in November, leaving us just about $5.5 million, just shy of $5.5 million to draw down through the rest of the fiscal year, possibly into fiscal year 26, which will start April 1st. Giving an update to the board, as we know, budget season is upon us. You know, in a few short weeks, the legislature will all convene down in Albany to start talking about the budget and what the budget may look like in April. And certainly as a state association, you know, we put together our ask and what that may look like. So based on what we're looking at in the future in the next 2 years, we're looking at a 30% increase over 2 years. So 15% per year is where NIPTA is starting our ask. We've already started having those conversations across the state with our legislators in both the Assembly and the Senate. And hopefully these funds will continue to support and get the support of our legislators. You know, for the enhancements we've made across the state, certainly the enhancements we've done here in Syracuse to continue to support the on-demand service, the wages that we put in for the union contract, et cetera. We have met with Assemblymember Kellis down on December 12th. Steve Cagle and I met virtually with Assemblymember Kellis. She is the Cortland County Assembly member. So we had a meeting with her to introduce ourselves, certainly as we take over the Cortland Transit, but also to discuss, you know, our fiscal year plans for 2026 with the NIPTA ask, and also the ask that we are looking for Cortland County. And as we talked about last month, looking at additional funds to start up and also increase for long-range support for the service down there. The ask was well received, the conversation was very positive, and we have her support on all levels. And we're looking forward to continuing those conversations with the rest of our delegation that represent our areas. On December 11th, I met with Senator Schumer's office staff here, his local delegation out of Syracuse, to talk about the BRT and some of the milestones as we talk about construction and what the next steps are. You know, they are certainly committed to keeping us in the communication lines and making sure that they can assist us through the future and through the progress of this project as we really start putting in efforts to see this come to fruition. You know, it's there, it's talked about, but now we're looking at the next phases of construction and purchasing some of the items that we need to do that. So they are committed to assist us with that in any way they can, and we greatly appreciate their support on the federal level. In the past couple of years, we've talked about a lot of the holiday season events, and certainly every year, I gotta thank the marketing team and the outreach communications team, Lynette, Steve, Casey Brown, Rachel. They do a phenomenal job. Every year I give them some new tasks to try to accomplish and extend our reach into the community as being part of the community and more than just a bus company that we always talk about, but really supporting the community on different levels. So this year, you know, we continued with some of our major events. On December 7th, we did a Stuff a Bus event, which we do at the Cicero Walmart. Typically every year, we partner with Lamar, Walmart. We've had several partners over the years. This year, we partnered with Cicero Police Department to collect gifts for the Salvation Army Syracuse Area Christmas Bureau Distribution Day, which actually took place on Wednesday of this week down at the On Center, which we also provide shuttle bus service from the hub to provide. But at this event, we collected north of 700 toys for local kids. And Casey, was it a 6-hour period? How did that? I can't remember.
It was 4-hour period.
4-hour period. And that was just on the bus alone. We also collected toys here internally in the organization, and certainly want to thank our ATU 580 members that showed up with a truckload of toys to fill that bus, and they stuck around and helped out to kind of heckle
or rally some of the customers going into Walmart to also contribute. So,
Thanks, Frank, Jimmy.
yes. So we thank them for that and thank all of our partners in this, but it's a great effort. We see this continue to grow year over year, and it's certainly, you know, those other measures that we are more than a bus company in this community, and it shows. Continuing also with our Lights on the Lake partnership with Galaxy Radio and City and County Parks and Rec, which we started 2 years ago, and it continues to do very well. Is partnering with the city rec locations to bring individuals and families that may not be able to go see Lights on the Lake due to transportation issues or availability of funds to do that we take buses and drive them through Lights on the Lake. It's been very well received over the years. We were proud to provide that service again through the last couple weeks, and certainly look forward to continuing that.
Chris, have you ever thought about doing that with call buses? I mean, I can think off the top of my head of at least 15 people who power wheelchairs can't go to Lights on the Lake. Have we ever thought of extending that?
We have, and one of the hurdles we run into is the availability of resources to drive the buses, and where do you pick people up, and how do we schedule those trips? But we have evaluated it. We had a few extensive conversations this year of even trying to come up with other avenues to provide it for the whole community. But with limited resources and opportunities, it's just hard to do that and do it well. You know, could we do it? Sure, but you're gonna find that people are gonna start calling because it's not available to them, or we're short drivers for some reason, and we have to cancel it. So we don't wanna put something out there that we can't stand behind 100% support.
I just wanted to make sure that, you know, as things get better, we're thinking of that. 'Cause
Absolutely.
I can think of a lot of seniors who don't have the people or the opportunity and would love that opportunity.
Absolutely. No, it's on our radar, and we're trying to find solutions for it, but this year it wasn't easy.
I was looking online, I see that, some states, have a bus decorated with Christmas ornaments.
Yep.
We don't have that, right? What do you think?
We haven't in a number of years. We used to have the Santa bus.
I was gonna say Santa bus.
That ran, and Casey and Steve can speak to the decorating of that bus daily in their career as the decorations fall off and things like that. That is also an opportunity that we've looked at, certainly trying to figure out ways we can do it and find some partners that willing to cover the cost of that. But it's on our agenda looking into the next fiscal year.
As I recall, the Santa bus, you didn't have to pay.
Yes, if it was on your road. Yep.
It was all, and you had a driver dressed up as Santa.
It played music.
It played, it was fun. It's like, that's fun.
And we're looking at those ideas, and certainly we're looking to do it more frequently than just a Christmas bus or a St. Patrick's Day bus. We want to look at different events throughout the year that we can get behind and support. Maybe wrap a bus.
Wrap it. Maybe have some type of project going on where you can set where people can donate into that.
Even that, or find a local business partner that wants to be showcased and wrap a holiday bus and do things like that. So we are exploring those options. It's certainly something we've talked about as a budget cost. You're looking at about $7,500 a bus to wrap it completely. So if you do that quite a few times, 10 times a year, it gets expensive. Melissa starts getting a little squirrely about what we're doing. So we're looking hopefully this year to find partners to tackle some of these events and wrapping buses. We continue on with our routine meetings regarding recruitment, capital planning. Certainly you guys will see a recruitment efforts and commercials ramp up, I think on Sunday, Steve?
Yes.
So, we got an open house that'll take place here in January. For here in Syracuse, it'd be January 4th. And in Utica, we're actually going to be the first time we're going to hold an open house in Utica on January 11th. To hopefully start generating some buzz on employment opportunities. A few other things that are not in my report, just to touch base on. If anybody's home and looking for something to browse, we just launched our brand new website this morning. So it is still the www.centra.org. But the marketing team and the IT team, work together with the departments throughout the organization to update the website to allow easier access. The focus of this was to the public. So certainly as we look at it from a business perspective or a board member perspective, it may not seem like the information you're looking for is right in front of you, but they did do some analytics on what are the most areas that get clicks and certainly that resonates with the routes and schedules, bus passes and fares, and career opportunities. So those are showcased right front and center. It's 2 clicks to get to whatever you want to see in those sections. And then it's just a little more interactive and user friendly. So we're excited to see this go live and continue to build a better user experience as people look to explore Centro. And we thank the team certainly for their hard work in doing this and the feedback. And as you guys are looking, if there's anything potentially that you think we missed or something doesn't work, certainly let us know. We'll get the IT and marketing team on that. And one last thing, the system redesign. So we talked about it a few months back. We authorized the system redesign here in Onondaga County. And the team is working with Arcadis, who is our transportation consultant. It's also working with us on BRT on this system redesign. And we are going to get ready to launch our outreach sessions. So we are going to schedule 8 outreach sessions in Onondaga County, with the first one starting on January 20th, 2025. So we won't meet before that. So we wanted to make it a point to let you guys know that those will start. They're located in each quadrant of the city of Syracuse, with some suburban locations, and we will also have an online session for folks that can't make them in person. And during these sessions, we're looking to get ridership feedback, efficiency, service feedback, on-time performance, cost, route design, transit propensity, as far as the likelihood of people to use transit systems in our area. We are also going to do a driver feedback session to get feedback on this. They drive these routes, so we want to make sure that it's important we get their feedback while we do this redesign. And certainly we look to have this wrapped up for a new design being launched in 2026. So we'll keep you posted as those dates and locations come available. And I don't know, Brian, do we know where the first one is on the 20th, Steve?
We do not yet.
Okay.
As soon as we know, we'll let you know.
We can push that out so you guys are aware of where it'll be. Any questions of my report? All right. We do have one a VP motion or presentation to bring up. Ron, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. On an annual basis, the FTA requires operators of public transportation systems to submit a Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan, or PTAS for short, which we have received approval for in prior years. The digital copies of the 2024 plan were sent with the board packet, and in an effort to be more sustainable, we printed only one copy, which we can pass around if anybody wants to see it. The PTAS encompasses a comprehensive, collaborative, and systematic approach to managing safety at Centro. It's a living document and is updated alongside with any applicable changes to policies, procedures, training, etc. Please note that the New York State Public Transportation Safety Board also requires that we have a system safety plan. To remove any duplication of efforts, we combined this plan with the New York State plan. So this is a composite plan that satisfies both the federal and state requirements for our safety plans. Some of the updates for this year include FTA updates on providing information on how we're assessing, mitigating, and monitoring safety risks associated with assaults on transit workers, which has been a major topic over the past few years and has been discussed several times at board meetings. Year-over-year data and safety performance targets were updated. Additional dispute resolution process was created and included in the updated plan this year. And prior to board approval, the 8-member Labor Safety Committee has to approve this plan, which we have done. So at this time, we are requesting a motion for the board to adopt the Centro 2024 Public Transportation Agency Safety Plan. Any questions?
Pretty involved.
Yes, it's pretty
involved.
Yeah, these guys have done a great job. If anybody remembers the first plan that came out, I think it was 700 pages. And they've consolidated it down, got the pertinent information in, references the policy. So we're certainly trying to save trees on printing that. It's about 105 now.
But they did a great job, and every year the federal government changes regulations or updates things that they're on top of to get them in play for this safety plan and things like that. So, a great job for the team to make this happen.
Is the changes every year that comes down from the feds, is it something I'm just curious, always and all necessary, or is it more just of a higher level of government inserting themselves?
No, I think it's necessary, especially on the assault category. I mean, this is a topic that has been increasingly, an issue, and it's good that we're becoming more aware of it and developing processes and procedures to improve on our safety metrics. So I think it's important.
Good.
I'm glad to hear that you said, because we don't know what the new administration on.
That is true.
Good. Any questions for Ryman? It was work well done. Good. Okay, if not, may I have a motion? Neil? Second, Tina. Any discussion? All in favor? Very good, thank you.
And that concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Very good. I just wanted to piggyback on one thing in his report with Cortland. Chris and I will be going down in January to Cortland. On behalf of the board and authority, I will be officially welcoming them into the authority. And also I'm going to meet with some leadership there to talk about what it's like being a board member at the authority. I think it's important that people understand the commitment and also what we're about.
Yeah.
So I'll be taking care of that. Probably some evening, Chris and I will be traveling down to Portland.
And that'd be a good time for all of us, board to meet.
Yep, and then down the road, I was gonna mention it before, but Julius mentioned it now. When Chris and I Chris is really taking the lead on this. We're working on something where some of the board members, a date is convenient, maybe has not seen some of our other properties. And we wanna do something probably after the winter flies. And we'll make an arrangement where who's interested, we'll have maybe a day or a couple days going to our different properties. Okay. It's good to understand the whole concept sometimes. Very good. So we're gonna go right into our audit and finance committee that was all discussed in detail in committee. At this point, may I have a motion to accept the November 30th, 2024 Statement of Revenues and Expenditures. Tina, first, Julia, second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye. Jackie did her due diligence on our stop loss. Anything over $250,000, unless there's a laser. Decided to stay with Sun Life. Okay. And at this point, a motion was made to bring it to the full board. May I have a motion, please? Luella, second. Robert, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. We had resolutions. Chris, we had a very good discussion on our paratransit that was really championed by Tina, and we appreciate that.
I am. The paratransit body.
But the knowledge you have is amazing, it really is.
When you get to Cortland, they're gonna be asking.
You got it.
My network is already buzzing my way. And
Well,
I'm like,
we're gonna bring you down just to let them know
Hey.
what it's about.
Yeah.
Recommendation was made by staff to award contract to Coach and Equipment Bus Sales in the amount of $129,000 odd per vehicle and about 116 for a total of 9 buses. May I have a motion? Okay, Tony, second. Excuse me, Tina, second. Tony, any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
If anybody want to buy a bus, contact you,
That's what he contacts me. Via Remix software purchase, Caitlin came up, spoke to us about that. Seems like it's gonna be quite helpful, and I think, Steve, what I understand, decrease some of our time that we spent doing these things, be more efficient, which I think is great. I've been around so long, I remember people used to do it by hand, okay? And with that being said, we have a sole source. And it is important, anytime you see contracts like this, sole source, that kind of overrides the bidding process. And there's to award contract with Via Transportation Inc. totaling $260,000 odd. I have a motion. Darlene, second. Monty, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Tara, with the holiday spirit, brought us a NISDOT grant agreement to accept money of around $108,000 for Oneida County. Right?
Operating assistance for Oneida County Rural
Rural Transportation. Thank you. I have a motion. Monty, second. Robert, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay. Melissa, nothing else, correct? Okay. All right, so we're gonna move into old business. I want to thank Monty, Tony, Tina, and Darlene for your work and efforts of working with the search firm, narrowing it down. We will have, there's around 4 candidates that will be presented to the board. Frank, you'll be part of those interviews as we discussed before. And that will be coming in the near future. We'll get through the holidays, then there'll be more hard dates that we'll be looking at here, okay? When things get down even a little bit narrower, then we'll publicly announce the names, okay? Also, I was interviewed, wanted comments regarding an update to Utica traffic lights on an initiative from Senator Schumer's office. I want to thank Steve. There's a corridor in Utica, if you're familiar with Utica. It goes down Genesee Street, and it's like the lifeline in the heart of the city. And we're dealing with many very old lights. It takes you a couple years to get from one side of the city to the other side. We used to be Light City, but senators got the funding, and they're going to be initiating that. And I think from Central standpoint, it's going to help our buses, I think, a little bit more stay on time. Okay, because these are very antiquated old lights. So that was happening. And then I also, on behalf of the board, I want to thank Susanna for her service. Okay, I want to thank you for your service. Don't say anything, just us. Susanna has an opportunity, and you've done well, you served us well, and we want to thank you. Yeah, it's all right. Well, when you have, good employees, you want to make sure you acknowledge that. Okay, so thank you, and good luck with everything you do in the future. Julius.
Also, you and I talked about VEO, is that how you pronounce it? I'm in the process of testing out a new bike, three-wheeler.
Yes.
And I suggest that maybe Syracuse would probably be the test area for that. Because I always heard when I was driving cabs that if you anything past the Syracuse, you usually go well if you're the police.
Yeah, we've contacted VEO to let them know they're willing to bring it up. I don't know if the city has reached out to them as well, but we certainly extended the invite if they want to bring it here to test it. We'd be more than happy to assist with that. Certainly, the weather is holding that up right now. But, yeah.
So Chris will follow up on that, and maybe Neil can help us out with the participation of the city, and it's something that want to be in the forefront. Any board members have any?
Yeah, I got a letter forwarded to me from Frank that directly is some questions about Colobus, and I don't know, Frank, if you want, they came from Cadby? From people at Cadby?
So a list, I don't know, was it maybe 15 people from Cadby?
I don't think they understand.
Had some concerns, so I reached out to Tina and Teresa over there, who does Colobus, trying to resolve. I spoke to Robert and Josh, and we're thinking about putting a meeting together and try to see what we can do to, there might be some miscommunication with these passengers, how the bus works, but we wanna try to figure it out.
Yeah, and Frank, I will come out and talk to them. You have my because it's looking like they want like a shuttle bus to pick up all the people from Cab B and take them and drop them off. That's not how Calabus works. And I wanted to bring it up here so that everybody was aware of it.
So, Chris, why don't you put it on your agenda with your team to spearhead the meeting and see how we can get to the bottom of this and what we can do to.
And being what the governor's appointee, I feel like this is my place to be in the middle of. CABB is an agency that assists people who are visually impaired. They are based in Utica, Maryland.
Right, yeah, Central Association of the
Visually impaired, yeah.
And Blind Association.
Yeah, we usually deal with Aurora. They're new to our area, so I'm just thinking they got no clue. And Chris, please feel free to put me right in the middle of that one, because I really think they need to hear from somebody who uses.
Sure. Can that letter be forwarded to me?
Yeah.
I would appreciate that.
Very good. Yeah, put the right parties, Chris, let's get the right parties at the table. Thanks, Tina, for your willingness to step up a little bit. Appreciate it. Okay, so with that being said, we do have our annual get together. Oh, yes, Monty.
Maybe not for this meeting, but for next meeting, because we had talked about in the past, I want to say it's EEC position that Jackie couldn't do and Steve was going to, but we hadn't made any decisions.
Okay.
So I was just trying to bring that
Jackie, any
back.
comment?
The EEOC.
EEOC, okay, I know.
Is that what you're,
Right,
equal
yeah.
opportunity?
So
Yeah.
just,
Steve is
What was it?
the officer
so
of
Steve
that.
is the officer.
Yes,
Yes.
but it's falling to Paula to handle.
Paul is the coordinator.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Do people know that?
Yes,
Yes.
it's posted. All the material has been hung up around the building.
Okay.
Yeah, that was done. Maybe you weren't.
Does it say the policy
At
is
the-
approved? Is that?
Maybe you weren't at that board meeting, Monty.
Well,
but
I
we did-
remember we talked to you, to him, and then we were gonna do something else and didn't hear something else.
So we got that in place.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? So we have a holiday gathering after this. Once again, I wish everybody these last 2 months a great holiday season with your family and friends. It's a lot. I think there's a lot to be thankful for. And we, the board, at this time of year, always appreciate all the work from the staff, no matter what level it is. And yesterday I had the honor of some interaction with people from Utica, stopped down to their holiday gathering, and it was nice seeing a lot of people. So I know Luella has a comment.
I would just like to say, no matter what the situation is, if anything comes in concerning Central, that it should go to the deputy. So, we are as board members, we are here to, to deal with the situation. But anything to do with the day-to-day operation, whatever board members we are, I think it should be directed to the deputy. And he in turn can organize or, give it to whoever. I just thought I just needed to say that.
There's governance and management. Thank you. Anybody else here? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna ask, to go into an executive session for advice of counsel. It will be only board members. Frank, I'm gonna call you after, cause we're gonna talk about another item, okay? But I'll call you, okay, so when we're ready, so I don't wanna hold you up. And otherwise, I have a motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor? Okay, thank you.
Or is the second?
We just got out of executive session, no action was taken. We are now adjourned. Have a good holiday. Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Enjoy the holidays.
Bad news.
Oh, thank you, sir.